Okay, good afternoon. This is Palma Airport at Majorca. We're going to take off. We're going to do a fairly quick flight up to the north and then land on the southern tip of Spain into Barcelona Airport on the westerly runway. Going to get going really. There's not a lot to sort of say. It should be a fairly short flight. That's why the toga switched. I was struggling with that actually. That toga switch. I'll switch that. Kicks out. I don't know why that's doing it. It does that constantly. I've got LNAV in. Right. Okay. So we've got rejected takeoff set, flap 5, ready for takeoff. All our V speeds are in there. I think actually our V speeds are in there. I don't know if I've actually set the takeoff speeds. No, I haven't. So we want flap 5. Goes in there. We'll probably take off about 1, 2, 5 will be our V1, which is decision speed. 130 we'll make as our rotation, and 135 as our V2 climb out speed. Okay, so legs are set. That all looks to be fairly good. Yeah, we've got no discos on there. Map set. Right, okay. Okay, I'm just going to get us up in the air. So let's take off that. So, stabilise thrust. Yep, that's stabilised. Track centre line, as well as trying to look at the
80 knots.
Thrust gauge, 80 knots set. Okay, and
V1. Rotate.
Okay, positive rate of climb.
Positive rate.
Which means we'll get the gear up. 263, going to fly this manually for 400 feet.
400.
There's that 400, so we can kick in. And this will take us up
1,000.
out of Palma. Oh, I didn't put my strobes on. Now the strobes are on. Let's have a little look. Yeah. I think I'll bug up out of my So let's get some lights on. That's good. That's actually not too bad. As far as our track goes, we've got switch that off now. We've got lateral navigation and vertical navigation set. So let's have a look at our track. So pretty coming up soon. We're going to turn right once we've intercepted that. Plenty of fuel on board. Climbing up to 8,000 feet now. So once we get to the ADX, we should be at a flight level of 140. Which is set in. So Once we come into Barcelona, you can see we're going to fly along here. We're going to intercept this DME arc and then come in around here. So we'll be landing on the 245 degree, which is set 245 degree on both mine and co-pilots. Settings. 111.5 is the frequency. 111.5 is the frequency that's set. So we should be just about to start our right turn now. We're above 10,000 feet, so we can increase our speed beyond 250 knots. Let's turn the seatbelt signs off. And there we go, there's our initiated turn to the north, heading up towards mainland Spain.
1,000 to go.
I'd much rather be in Spain than I would in Berlin. I'd much rather be in this flight deck than anywhere else, I imagine. So let's have a look at the controls that we've got. If you're not familiar with the 737, which chances are you're probably not, this is our telling that we're telling our altitude or the cabin pressurization that we're going to be flying at 14,000 feet. Our landing altitude is 50. We've got that on auto, and this is our cabin pressurization in the overhead panel. Starting from the back there, we've got the IRS, which is the inertial reference system. Crew oxygen, flaps, lets us know where flaps, window heat, which I've got on because once you get high you lose, obviously it gets a lot colder, so we need to make sure that we've got any de-icing on, etc. These are just lights, electrical circuits telling us that we have power, navigation aids, fuel pumps, etc. Landing lights, these are the lights along here with the engine starts as well, and then wipers, as you can see, wiper. And we come on to the MCP, which is the autopilot, and this is telling us that we've got auto throttle on. A/T means auto throttle. Flight directors, which are the pink crosshairs which sit in the primary flight display, which are telling us when we are on or off our track. So at the moment, as you can see, we're perfectly on track. This magenta line is our programmed track. We're heading towards the SPOR waypoint, which is currently 44 nautical miles away. We're at our flight level altitude of 140, 14,000 feet. This is our engine thrust gauges. So here is, like I said, the autopilot, the MCP autopilot. What I've done is I've programmed in for the lateral navigation and vertical navigation into here, so that's why they are both active. If I wanted to override and fly onto any particular track, so we're currently on the 342 head-in, so if that clicked out for whatever, I can press head-in select and that will fly me on the head-in that I choose. Above there, if you can see this, that is the bank angle of the aircraft, so that tells me how steep I want the aircraft to steer. Alt hold, which is altitude hold, so basically whatever altitude I'm at from 4,000 feet, I want to hold that because air traffic control telling me I need to, whatever, I can just click that and hold it. Vertical speed, self-explanatory, tells me how fast I want the aircraft to climb up and down. Obviously we're in a three-dimensional plane with other than the car, obviously we have height to worry about as well. Self-explanatory speed, I can tell the aircraft what speed I want to level change is interesting. So if I decided that I wanted to fly to 26,000 feet, but I wanted to keep my speed at a set speed, if I do level change, that will take me to 24,000 feet in as long as it takes maintaining that actual speed. If I do vertical speed, that takes me up as quickly as I want to go. Let's get these lights off now. I should have done that. while back actually. And that's that. I come down to the center console. So at the top, we grab our mouse. At the top here, we have our audio. Do you know what? I keep doing that. I keep clicking something and it knocks out the autopilot. Here we have our audio frequencies. So this is the people that we speak to. Here we have our navigational frequencies. So we tune these in to align us with the navigational aids on the ground. Here we have these are an ADF frequencies, an automatic direction finder. So effectively, it's another navigation aid. We can click in and out these illuminated or non-illuminated buttons, and that's really sort of who we speak to. So we can choose to speak to the cabin when the captain makes his announcements or whatever. Rudder trims, etc. And of course, it's duplicate the other side. These are if we have an engine fire. So we have 2 engines on a 737 plus the auxiliary power unit, which is effectively is the 3rd engine. And obviously, can be susceptible to fires. Pull those out, puts the fire out. Engine start levers here, so that ignites them. Thrust levers, speed brake, which will become quite important, especially on the 737. You're always on the speed brake. They're quite slippery little things, and certainly with this approach into Barcelona, we probably will find out that we need to descend quite quickly, and then we're going to do a sharp left turn onto final, which means a lot of things are going to happen late. So the gear will go down. I'll probably get the gear down early actually, try and keep us slowed down, and so we'll probably be using the speed brake as well. This is the gear lever. This tells us the amount of flaps we have. Obviously the amount of flaps that we increase the surface area of the ring, which means we increase the lift. Trouble is, when you increase more surface area, you also increase the drag, which means the coefficient of flight becomes better at slower speeds. We have more control over the aircraft at slower speeds and more stability at slower speeds, but also we've now become very fuel efficient because we've got a lot of wing surface area exposed. And so the more we can make the aircraft slippy and rounded, the better. But also we need to be able to control at slower speeds. So that's the reason why we have flaps, is just for increased stability at slower speeds. I'm going to get up now and have a look in the cabin. So let's just have a little look through there. I can see through there in a little spy hole. I can also stick my head through because this is virtual reality and not real life. So if I had long enough cable and a big enough room, I could walk all the way down that aircraft, right down to the back. I think the standard configuration will hold about 180 passengers on the 737-800. Almost if you do any work, do they? Mind you, there's no passengers there, so you don't really need it. And here we are at our flight altitude of 14,000 feet. So stand here as a passenger. Come and have a look at the flight deck. Please tell me that's not just me recording the whole thing. Okay. Alright. So let's just check that's recording. Yeah. So here we are in the flight deck of a 737-800 on our way from Palma, Majorca to Barcelona on the 25 left, so the westerly runway. Currently in the cruise, 14,000 feet. I've just gone through a long explanation, but it looks like I hadn't had it set up properly, so let's have a little look through the back here. So this is the cabin. There we go. Wonderful. This is the flight deck of a 737. So here we are tracking to Espor. Let's gone through Espor now. We're now tracking to Nepal. Let's minimize this. So this is our complete flight. You'll see. Just open it up a bit more. So we're going to get to Nepal. We're going to turn right. We're going to have our top of descent, which means we're going to descend from 14,000 feet down to 7,000 feet. So I will set my altitude now at 7,000 feet, like that. And this will automatically do it. If I keep that at 14,000 feet, however, that will override it, and the aircraft won't descend. So it assumes it's a safety thing to keep me at the altitude I decide. So I'll set that for 7,000 feet. Once we get past Nepal, we'll turn right. We'll get to this T/D, which stands for top of descent. Once we get that green circle, that means we'll start our descent into Barcelona. Get a bit of weather on, a bit of terrain. The crosshair there is what's called a flight director, and basically when I'm flying on instruments, if I have somewhere I need to go off to the right or to the left, this will then direct me to it, so I'm doing the right path. So basically I will turn the aircraft left or right to keep that centralized in vertical and the do you know what? It does my head in. I keep clicking something which kicks out the autopilot. I need to address that in settings. I have nothing active on the yoke. So this is a chart of our approach. I need the mouse to show you. So we're coming sort of along here. We're going to fly around here, turn left, and then approach the runway on 25 left on a 245 degree radial. If we screw up the landing, which we're not going to do, but if we screw up the landing, we'll go around here. See this dotted line that tells us that we take off. We take a 237 degree radial, and we fly that until we get I can't really read that, 8.8 miles away from the runway, and then we make a left turn and follow this path to come back round. It has a little loop there because we may need to be put into a holding pattern in the air. Obviously other aircraft will be coming in, depending on our situation. If we're fine and we've got lots of fuel and there's no issues with the aircraft, then we can put us in there, or they can just bring us back round and we'll intercept that again. So that's 245. I've set 245, set 245. Soon to start our right turn. I can imagine you should be able to see the coast of mainland Spain now. I think that's it over there. Looks pretty like it. You stand up. Oh, the advantage of not flying a real aircraft is I can stand outside of it. Yeah, that's mainland Spain now. And we're just starting our right turn now. And we're also fairly soon going to be starting our descent. So, turn the lights up there, but doing. There we go. So Barcelona is somewhere about there. Or Barcelona Airport, isn't it? I've got, I think, 121 passengers on board, even though you couldn't see them when I stuck my head there through the back. Just get that check. No issues there. It's just no. Okay. Last caution reset. So just coming up for our top of drop now. From 14,000 feet, we'll start our descent down to 7,000 feet. There goes the throttles, clamp out the throttles, and we'll start bringing ourselves down to 7,000 feet. By the time we get to 10,000 feet, we need to be at 250 knots or less. But 737s are quite slippy, so I should probably be banging out this speed brake. I'll set 13,000. When I get to 10,000, I'll put the landing lights on. There's Spain over there. God, I want to be in Spain. Love being Barcelona now, down Las Ramblas. Unfortunately, when I take this headset off, I'm in Detling, in Kent, where it's cold. Okay, it's not doing too bad. We're 266 knots, just passing 11,000 feet, descending down to our 10,000 or 7,000 marker. 274. I'm just going to pull that speed brake in. I knew that was going to happen. Just descending a little bit too quickly. It's just going to slow us down now. That needs to take us to 250. Go. So we're all legal and good. Not going to get sued for overspeeding above below 10,000 feet currently. Speed brake's still on. Just switch that off. There we go. So our speeds now, we're expecting to drop to 225 for the CLE, which is coming up there. Before making a left turn into Barcelona, there's the airport there. So we're effectively, if we look, if you imagine this is us, if we look at 45 degrees roughly, there, the airport's there. Let's get those seatbelt signs on. We're coming into land now. Let's give a bit of a message. I need to set that. This is so quiet. Landing lights go on. 10,000 feet. We're nicely slowed down. Probably about 10 minutes into landing now, for less than that. So I'll set my auto brake. What's going on with that? I need to record them. Set the auto brake to maximum. we don't need it. It's a big, long, wide runway at Barcelona. It's a fantastic runway. Runway's sort of there now. Oh, where's the mouse gone? About there. And soon we're going to start our turn onto final. Currently 240 knots, which is what Rouloge says we should be at. Into C29, we're going to do reduce to 225. And we're descending now to our 5,000 feet. I'm just going to bring that speed brake in again. It says drag required. I just did it just before it said it, actually, so no drags required. Basically just telling us to slow it down. Computer's saying if we keep the speed we're at without slowing us down, we're not going to be able to make the turn correctly. But obviously, if you've got the engines at idle and you're dropping out the sky, there's not a lot else you can do apart from disrupt the airflow over the wings. You should be able to see. There we go. Yeah, you can just about see let me stand up a bit for you. You can see the spoilers. They're just disrupting the airflow over the wing just to slow us down. Just going to hold on a sec. What's going on here? Oh, for fuck's. I don't know. It did this last time. I've no idea why it's done that. So I shall have to fly the aircraft manually in. I just don't know why it's done it. Okay. Doesn't want to know. Okay, so we're going to find let's get that gear down. Oh, it's raining as well. Grim, isn't it? That's pretty grim. Okay, got our gear down. We're on flap
2500.
30 now. I'm just turning in. I don't know why that VNav's kicked me off. Sorry, the LNav. I don't know why it kicked me off. It's done it to me twice now though. Let's just kick that speed brake back out. There we go. So, what the fuck? I've no idea what's going on. There's something wrong with the sim. Look, it's disconnected. There's no. It's not even. It's not even found the localizer or the glide slope for the airport, which was already locked in. Look, now it's allowing me to do approach and head-in select. No, it's not right. It's not right. Something's gone horribly wrong. If in doubt, fly the bugger manually. So as far as that goes, we're not looking too sad. About 140 knots, so we're at landing speed, flap 30, auto brake set to max. I'm going to have to do a VFR approach because nothing is working from the glide slope or 11.5, 11.5. Everything is activated. Nothing's showing up. So let me get back on this track. What I don't know is whether I'm too high or too low, so I'm going to just... Okay. Let's try this again. Just... No, it won't let me instigate an approach. There we go. Now, is this going to... Got a bit hairy actually. Okay, red up white. So
1,000.
just a
1,000
little
feet
bit
stabilized,
to the
Mr. Perch, altitude
left
set.
of the runway, but that will correct. Okay, there's lots of cranes there. Let's get those wipers on. Okay, we set up okay. Luckily.
Flight slow. Flight
200.
Flight slow.
Don't you criticise me, you're the one flying the auto land. Okay, I'll take that out.
100.
Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
$80 knots.
Yeah, well, considering everything went horribly wrong then, well, I suppose that's what happens in aircraft.
Thank you for flying Ryanair. Last year, over 90% of our flights arrived on time. We hope you enjoyed yours, and we look forward to welcoming you on board again soon. Ryanair. Low fares, made simple.
Hello, Barcelona. Just about. I guess that's the right runway. No, it's a taxiway. Barcelona's got such huge runways and taxiways. I guess terminal is up there. Looks like a terminal, doesn't it? Oh, hello, what's that? Digital. Oh, nice. Yeah, what we want is an air bridge. I don't know what gate. We'll just go to any gate, I suppose. After the stress we've had of that flight, obviously. Now, did I actually say thank you to Stuart Buckland for being an awesome dude who educated me to the benefits of VR flying? I don't think I did. Stuart Buckland, you're awesome. You changed my life. It's absolutely fantastic. If you want to look him up, Star Glider. Stop, and we'll put parking brake set. Oh, and we want our don't know how to do it on this. Okay, there we go. So if we go for oh, it went. So frustrating. Right, disable the headset. I need to activate the air bridge so we can get people off. Anyway, let's this is typical of a normal aircraft. Why you wait for ages for the air bridge to? I can't find it on here. Oh, I'm going to set plugins. Ah, yes, there we go. We want that. Oh, no, not that. So we want that one, that one, that one, and parking. Oh, it doesn't show us a flipping door. There we go. Oh. Clicking it. God, it's so hard to do in VR. I can't do it. I can't do it. Okay. Just, you know what, something goes wrong every time. He won't deactivate the. Fed up, switch it off.